Welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Back at it again. Tonight we're going to talk ADPs. We're talking best ball ADPs. I got the Craft Man with me. What's up, Craft Man?
You know, doing the same old thing. Been hitting up these best ball drafts. We've done all our startups so far in Dynasty. We're kind of in the dead season for redraft right now. It's going to be coming up real quick. So best ball is kind of the ticket right now that we've just been cashing in.
Yep. Like I said, it's best ball season. We've been on that Underdog fantasy. I know me and you are in a couple. I keep like 4 of them going at all times, man. But for those of y'all who don't know, best ball is just all you do is hop on this Underdog app. Shout out to Underdog. Sponsor me and the Craft Man if you want to. And then, so what we do is we get on best ball on Underdog. We do these best ball drafts. You draft. That's fucking it. That's all you do. You just draft 18 rounds. And after the football season's over, you see what place you came in. You see how much money you make. Because there's prizes for first, second, and third place. That's just general craft. Anything? What am I missing?
I mean, it starts your optimal lineup every week. There's no such thing as your starters and your bench players in best ball. It's just who scores the most that week, and you still have to start like three receivers, 1 flex, 1 running back, stuff like that. But it just takes your highest scores. So there's no points on your bench in best ball. It's just who scored the most overall on their team that week.
So for those of y'all that are just like me and Kraft, and you're just deep in this shit, and you're just addicted to this lifestyle, it's best ball season. That's what we're doing. We do Dynasty, best ball, we gamble, we do it all, man. So it's like Kraft said, like if you got to start 2 running backs, there will be 2 running backs in your starting lineup. Your top 2 running backs of that week, they'll go into that lineup. Like if you got 2 quarterbacks on your roster, whatever quarterback scores the most, they're the one. That's the points that are getting taken that week.
Yep.
So no lineup setting for because some of y'all, like, I got a guy I work with, Kraft. This dude's addicted to joining fantasy leagues, man. The dude, there's no way he keeps up with all these leagues. I tell him every day, you should just do best ball. Don't have to worry about that shit. Best ball is where it's at. So tonight we're talking about the ADPs, average draft position, on best ball underdogs that we like, the ones that we are liking on, loving on. Go ahead and hit on these players to win you some money. Anything else left to say?
Nah, I think we're good. These are just, I know we might repeat ourselves a little bit from our Dynasty ADPs we like and stuff. These are just players that I've just been drafting. Yeah, if I can get my hands on them, I'm just getting them every time. Just call them a shot and getting them every time.
Yep, I'm with you. So, Kraft, go ahead, start us off.
Well, start up at the top. I got the RB1, Austin Eckler. I've got him pretty much, for some reason, every time I do a best ball draft, I'm drafting in either the 6 or the 8 spot. And Eckler is there every single time. If he gets injured, I'm fucked this year. But at ADP 8.8, I'm hitting on that pretty much every time. Like I said, RB1 last year. In best ball, this is a half-point PPR, so he might not be quite as valuable. But he's pretty much my undisputed RB1 still. Nothing's changed from last year. They didn't bring anybody in. He's just going to be great again. The offense should even be better.
Right. Yep, I'm in agreement with you. I think I just did a best ball. I can't remember if it was a 10 or 12 man. I want to say 10 man. I just grabbed Eckler in the second round with my second pick. So I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm pretty sure you was in that best ball, but it's like I think I grabbed. Nah, I can't remember, but I got him on the turn in the second round. I don't know if he was in that one or not, but I'm with you. Eckler, nothing's changed. This dude's going to be in LA for one more season for sure, and I think he's gone. It's over. He'll go somewhere else. So for this year, They already been using him a lot. I think they're going to use him even more. I mean, we might see Eckler's. He might get, just like you said, we're fucked if he gets hurt, but we could possibly see another great year of this shit. So, and I'm kind of thinking we will.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was before last year. I thought there was like a touchdown regression coming, but he just kept getting the red zone work. That's pretty obvious that he's gonna still score probably 15 or more touchdowns overall this year with all the red zone work he gets in the passing game and at the goal line. So he's just as safe as it gets. I mean, going as the RB2 in best ball, I don't see a world where if Eckler stays healthy, he finishes outside of the top 5 running backs this year.
I agree. 1,000%. I agree. All right, so let's move on, man. I'll go ahead and throw me another running back out there, and you probably won't agree with this one, but I'm gonna throw Rachaad White up out there. My man Rachaad White. He's going super low. He's going. Let's see. I'm scrolling down myself. That's how far he's going. I'll keep on scrolling. I can't find his ass. He's going 84.9. Running back 26. If you're telling me 25 running backs are about to finish ahead of Rachaad White, you're tripping. This dude right here. I think he's gonna get a larger role with his old playoff Lenny out, and then so the opportunity's gonna be there, and I think he's gonna catch a lot of balls. And a lot of the haters out there, like the Kraft man, they're gonna say, "Well, he's inefficient. He's only running for 3.5 yards per carry." Like, I don't care. The dude's about to catch the ball a lot out of the backfield. And Chris Godwin, I like Chris Godwin too. Got to fade guys like Mike Evans though. With that said, there was one more point. Oh yeah, they always say, well, Baker Mayfield because he's the starter. So the haters out there, they're gonna be like, well, Nick Chubb, he never catches the ball out of the backfield. He don't do that. And to that, I would just say Kareem Hunt was there in Cleveland, and he caught the ball out of the backfield plenty with Baker Mayfield. What say you, Kraft man?
I just don't like Rachaad White. I can't get on the train, but everything that you said is true. I mean, there's no competition there. I mean, Chase Edmonds is nothing. I do think he's going to get the work. I just don't see a lot of touchdowns coming his way. I think the offense is going to be bad. He's not going to get as much receiving work this year because he doesn't have Tom Brady back there dumping it down. One guy you did mention, Mike Evans, I'm not real high on him as far as dynasty goes at all. And even in redraft, I'm not that high on him. But as far as this goes with Mike Evans, he's going as a wide receiver 35. And one thing I know about Mike Evans is he does have big games. So in best ball, I like him a little bit more. But even a little closer to Godwin in best ball, I would say. I still would prefer Godwin, but it's not as far apart as it would be like in just regular redraft because you're going to get some just terrible weeks out of Evans. But as far as your Rachaad White take goes, man, I feel like he's going probably right where he should. But the upside is there. I'll give you that. So in best ball, I do like him a little better.
He's going behind guys like Brandon Cooks, Isaiah Pacheco, Gabe Davis, going behind guys like that. I mean,
yeah, I'd take him over all them guys.
And I'll put it like this: Rachaad White, he is at a spot where I know me and you mentioned it before the podcast. There's a little pocket of running backs that me and you really like to pick out from, and I said it was that pocket with J.K. Dobbins, Miles Sanders, and Madison, and you threw Aaron Jones in the mix. So way lower than that is Rachaad White. He's below that pocket, so he's just at a perfect value to me. Real quick though, I did have guys like J.K. Dobbins and Miles Sanders on my list. Since I brought them up, I'll just go ahead and say something about them real quick. Dobbins is going at let's see, he's going at ADP 57 and the RB 18. So there's 17 running backs being drafted ahead of him. I think J.K. Dobbins could possibly have a top 10 running back year. With that said, I just saw a report literally this week. Yeah. Old Todd Monken said that they're focusing on upping the pace in Baltimore and they're putting emphasis on throwing the ball to the running backs. So that just sounds like good news for Dobbins and the whole offense. Obviously, it's an offseason talk. people saying all kinds of shit, but I'd rather hear that than what we was hearing about Dobbins last season, you know?
Yeah, I got to cool off on Dobbins a little bit because I just been getting hot and heavy. I got him everywhere, and if he has a bad year, I'm screwed because I've been drafting the hell out of him, and I did see a report too that Dobbins might hold in wanting a contract, but sorry,
Goofy
buddy,
as hell.
you're not getting a contract. You played 8 games in the last 2 years. You got folks out there like Dalvin Cook and Saquon who who have shown a little bit more than you have. I just don't
Right.
get it.
I'm telling you, man, that's one of the goofiest ones I've heard. Motherfucker, you gotta play, bruh. That's just one thing, man. That's another little narrative that me and you. Well, I'll put it like this: we got an episode coming out where we're gonna take on some of this Twitter stuff, and this is one narrative that me and you been on. Like that, people like to give credit to some of these players that don't even fucking play. And Dobbins, man, you trying to act like you want a contract after not doing shit? I mean, you ain't played in, but let's see, he missed that whole year, and then this year he struggled coming back. This year had to clean up his knee some more. I'll give him some credit; he had a good little run. But look, I like J.K. Dobbins, but as far as the holdout and the contract, that dude's an idiot.
Yeah, I just like his upside this year because I think he has the potential of 15 touchdowns and like a Nick Chubb year, what he's been in the past. Maybe 1,300 rushing yards, 15 touchdowns would be in the realm of possibility for him. So I like that, but I don't see like top 5 or even top 8 out of him just because he don't catch passes. But I've just been drafting him everywhere because he's just in that pocket of running backs where I'm always drafting these guys. And around that in this best ball, what we were talking about with Dobbins there, so you're looking at like Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Marquise Brown, Michael Pittman. This is where all these running backs are going, like Dobbins and Miles Sanders, and I've just been killing them, killing running backs in that spot. I make sure I'm passing on them receivers at that point because if you want to tell me you want JSN over Miles Sanders, you can have them.
Right. I'm with you the whole way. Miles Sanders, another name that I had been thinking about, and I'm taking Miles Sanders, and this is no joke. I'm looking for Miles Sanders in Dynasty, Redraft, Best Ball. If there's any other formats out there, I'll take Miles Sanders in that shit, flag football, everything. It's Miles Sanders going to Carolina. He's going right behind Dobbins. Like I said, he's just in that little pocket. And then just to throw it out there, Alexander Madison's going at RB20 a little bit. He's the next after Miles Sanders. That little group right there, and Kraft brought in Aaron Jones, who's I assume he's going ahead of Dobbins, right? One spot running back wise
Yeah,
ahead of Dobbins.
yeah, one spot ahead. But one thing I wanted to point out about Aaron Jones was there's a narrative that A.J. Dillon takes all the work. Aaron Jones had his second most rushing attempts of his career last year with 213. He finished as an RB11 last year and the RB10 in 2022, and he only scored 2 rushing touchdowns last year. So he's getting drafted at RB17 this year, which is his absolute floor if he stays healthy.
Right.
Now, I mean, I don't see a world where Aaron Jones finishes outside of RB17, even with Dillon there.
I certainly don't see a world where AJ Dillon's going to be cutting into it like that. AJ Dillon's just going to play his role. But
Yeah.
I do like AJ Dillon as a handcuff. If Aaron Jones ever went down, AJ Dillon's a nice one to have. But yeah, I'm with you though. That little pocket right there, Aaron Jones, J.K. Dobbins, Miles Sanders, Alexander Madison, those are all solid. I would take any of those. What you got for me, Kraft? You got any more running backs out there?
I like taking a chance on Khalil Herbert late as the RB40. You're really not risking much there, but I mean, James Cook is going 10 running backs ahead. I mean, James Cook's ADP is 97, and Khalil Herbert is down there like 122. So they're both probably going to be the pass catchers for a team who has a rushing quarterback. And I actually like Khalil Herbert more as a talent than James Cook. The offense of Buffalo is a little better, but just comparing two players, Khalil Herbert could be like the Aaron Jones of the Bears. He could take a lot of work. He's the best running back on that team still, and talent can win out. So I don't mind taking a chance on him late in these best ball drafts because I can see a little upside with him. Unless you're a big Roshan believer, which I'm really not. I think it's going to be Foreman and Herbert. So I like taking a chance on them.
I like that one too. That whole backfield's all fucked up a little bit, but Roshan getting a lot of hype right now. So I'm with you at RB40. Khalil Herbert's way better than that. He just got to get the the opportunity, and which I think it will be there, at least at first. We'll just have to see how that one goes. All right, man. I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go a little wide receiver right here, and it's gonna be your favorite one of the day, Kraft, and that is Treylon Burks. And last year, man, I was like so not on the Treylon Burks train. Like rookie drafts, they're talking about this dude. He's going to be the first wide receiver off the board and all that shit. And startups, he's going super high and all that shit. I've never looked to go and get Treylon Burks. Never. I kind of looked at it during this offseason because I kind of buy in that Treylon Burks, there's a possibility he can have that alpha, that big time talent. I think it's a possibility he could have that. So as far as best ball goes for this year, Treylon Burks going 69.9, the 36th wide receiver off the board. So you could pretty much get him in the 6th round of your best ball drafts. And to me, the thing is like I think Tennessee they're going down drain. They're going down the drain. It's all going to shit. I think the only thing that gets me is that if Treylon Burks is truly this talent that everybody thinks that he was last year, everybody was talking about it last year, and if he's really that guy that everybody thought he was, then let's just go ahead and take him in year 2 right here. He's got no target competition except for Okonkwo. I know the quarterback situation is a little murky, and the whole situation of the team is just murky, but if the guy's what people were saying, what he was, which I'm not going to deny it, I'm not going to sit here and act like he ain't or he is. But give me Treylon in the 6th round if he's that good.
Yeah, I actually do like Treylon in best ball just because of where he's going. I've kind of been off the Treylon hype train for a while as far as dynasty goes and redraft. I'm not really looking to get him too much, but in best ball, where he's going, he has potential. Like you said, he has target potential to get 25% to 30% of the targets, and there's really nobody around. Ryan Tannehill has had some decent years in his past where he's finished. Shoot, I remember like 2 years ago, he was like the main quarterback. Everybody was trying to get him redraft as a cheap guy. So he's had good years, but yeah, I would just draft him there at wide receiver 36 because he does have the potential to finish in the top 24, if not a little higher, if he really is that dude, which everybody claims he is.
Going behind Mike Evans, which you made a little case for Mike Evans. He's going behind Kyle Pitts, going behind Dameon Pierce. Just give me Trey. I mean, I like Dameon Pierce probably more than anybody out there because ain't nobody high on Dameon Pierce right now. But give me Treylon over him. I'm with you. There's no way he's going to finish 35. I just don't think there's 35 wide receivers that are going to finish ahead of him this year. And that, in college, he was involved in the screen game, the run game, all that stuff. So if Tennessee, he's not A.J. Brown, yo. Let's just use him like Treylon Burks, and let's just see how it goes.
Yep. Well, my guy, I got Jahan Dotson and George Pickens going at wide receiver 39 and 40. I'll hit on them all day. We'll talk about it when we do our little Twitter argument episode. I am high on George Pickens. I'm one of the only ones that loves George Pickens. I just think he's got the talent. Everybody's on Treylon. I'm on Pickens. And I like him in best ball because the things that everybody says about him, he just runs go routes. He's a contested ball catcher. He only makes big plays. He's not a great route runner. That's fine for best ball. Give me the guy who's catching 60-yard passes and has potential. I don't understand the dislike for Pickens anyway. He had a mid 800 yards last year in his rookie year. That used to be great until Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase kind of set the bar so damn high. So that was a good rookie year, especially for playing with Kenny Pickett and that passing offense that was just abysmal last year. So I'm high on Pickens and Dotson at wide receiver 40. This is one of them guys that could finish like wide receiver 20 this year.
Right.
I could see it. And maybe even higher, but he could also bust. I mean, he's shown potential last year, and it's really going to amount to how Sam Howell plays. And Dotson,
new offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Oh, Eric Bieniemy or whatever the fuck his name is, showing up. Little cause for optimism over there. Sam Howell. Who knows what they got? Sam Howell. Things can work out. And then as far as Pickens goes, like, look, man, I was kind of buying into some of that hate, but I think the Kraft man, he kind of reeled me back in on this one because and you didn't have to do much. All you did was post one thing on Twitter, and I was like, you know what, you're right, because there's been a lot of hate on George Pickens, and really a lot of hate on the Steelers offense, except for Najee. And I think right now I'm on the opposite. I'm kind of throwing some shade on Najee, and I think I'm good with all the other players. Like, I think Kenny Pickett's going to take a step up. Which means it's going to be better for George Pickens, and I think Deontay Johnson's going to actually score a touchdown this year. So I think all these guys in best ball, Pickens, Dotson, they're in a perfect spot, man. Perfect spot. I mean, they're going behind guys like Kadarius Toney, Cam Akers, Addison, who's a rookie. I'm high on Addison, but you can give me Jahan Dotson. You can give me Jahan Dotson all day. I don't know about Pickens in front of Jordan Addison. We'll see. We'll see about that one.
Well, he's not in front of Addison. I said Burks. I have Addison on my list of players that I've been drafting a lot in best ball too. And Addison's going a little bit before. I just don't – with Addison, I really like him in redraft because he could be a wide receiver 3 that's just safe, scoring you 10 points a week. But in best ball, with Justin Jefferson there's not a whole lot of crazy upside with him because Justin Jefferson is just going to eat. TJ Hawkinson is still there. But I really think he's safe. And he's actually the rookie receiver that I want the most this year.
Right. I'm
over
with
the
you.
others.
I agree with that. Next I got is Christian Kirk on my list. And correct me if I'm wrong, Kraft Man, but this dude finished like in the top 12 just last season. I could have swore he did. And he's about to be on an offense that has already made strides. It's about to get even better, I believe. They're bringing in Ridley, which to me is the reason why Christian Kirk is so low. Because for some reason, Ridley walks in and everybody else, let's just fade everybody else. Fuck everybody. Christian Kirk's down here going 48.7, which is the 27th wide receiver off the board. Let me just look at Ridley's. Ridley's going at 32. He's the 16th wide receiver off the board. Dude hadn't played it 2 seasons.
Crazy.
And when he did, he played a few games and he was saying something about mental health issues. And then he goes off and he's gambling and shit. So I guess the only thing I will say is at least he wasn't hurt all these years. I'll give him that. But you got to be playing. Like, you got to play. Like, there's no way why take somebody like Calvin Ridley in the third or fourth round? You can get motherfucking Christian Kirk in the 4th or 5th. When I was looking at sleeper redraft rankings, the dude's going in the 7th or the 8th round. So Christian Kirk, this one's easy for me. I just don't even understand. I mean, I know people were hesitant to hop on the Christian Kirk bandwagon last year, but this is the $84 million man right here on a powerful offense, and Ridley don't stepping in. He just Ridley don't faze me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on this one. I've been fading Ridley. He's probably my most faded player of all, just because of the hype. there's just, I mean, what upside can you get? You said he was getting drafted at wide receiver. Was it 16 is what you said in best ball?
Yeah.
Wide receiver 16. Okay, you got Christian Kirk there. You got Zay Jones. You got Evan Ingram. You got Travis Etienne there. And those guys all have rapport with Trevor Lawrence. Calvin Ridley doesn't. So, I'll probably be a little higher on Ridley next year than I would be this year, just coming into this offense that has pretty hefty target competition. It's not like he's going to have to be a T. Higgins to finish as wide receiver 16. That's about where T. Higgins finished last year. And I don't see that kind of talent left in Calvin Ridley. So I'm just gonna pass and let everybody have him. Not saying that he's not gonna have a decent year, but he's just getting overdrafted right now.
He could go off for all we know. But
Yeah.
I ain't gonna sit here and I don't know, man. Just give me the guys that were fucking playing and finishing in the top 12. I'll take that guy. Not to mention he's getting paid like a top wide receiver. Give me that dude. So
Yeah. One thing I do want to point out too is Calvin Ridley. He was a top 5 receiver, right? About 2 to 3 years ago with Julio. Guess who else was like number 1 receiver in the league who's been out for 2 years? Michael Thomas going at wide receiver 47. If you want to take a chance on somebody who's been out for 2 years and you want to save 30 spots, go down and just get Michael Thomas and see if he's still got it. So that's just my train of thought. Even though I'm out, this ain't a Michael Thomas love at all, but it's almost the same same deal.
Man, what you got for me? I'm done with wide receivers, by the way.
Well, my favorite wide receiver to draft this year is Terry McLaurin, going as wide receiver 25. He finished as wide receiver 14 last year and wide receiver 25 the year before. Terry McLaurin is, like you said, they brought Bieniemy in. They're not going to be quite as run heavy this year, I hope. Sam Howell is there, but so is Jacoby Brissett. So if anything goes too bad with Sam Howell, Washington loves to move on from quarterbacks. They do it more than any other team in the NFL. They just throw whoever in there. Terry McLaurin's going to be just fine, even with the bad quarterback play. He always has been. And I'll take him at wide receiver 25 because that's going to be close to his floor also. And he has, especially in best ball, Terry McLaurin has always been a boom kind of guy who can put up some massive weeks on occasion. So trying to get McLaurin anywhere I can get.
Yeah, I feel you. That's a good one, man. Right now he's going behind Mike Williams. Well, I definitely take him over Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Drake London, Jerry Jeudy. I'm a little bit higher on
Debo.
Drake London, but
I'll take him over Debo.
I'll take him over D Hop. I'll take him over. I don't know. I'll take him over a lot of them guys.
Christian Watson.
I don't know, man. Would you take him over Christian Watson?
Yeah, I would take him. I'd take him over Watson.
Not that I'm sitting here tooting his horn or anything, but it does feel like Mike Williams is probably a better best ball play than you know somebody you want in redraft or something like that. Any more wide receivers you got, Kraft Man?
Yeah, just on further down the list, just like some shots in the dark that I like to take. Darnell Mooney, he's always had some big weeks every now and again. He's going as a wide receiver 57. Darnell Mooney has potential to put up some big weeks. There's been some stuff coming out from Chicago saying that Claypool is out of shape and he don't know the playbook, and I've just never been a big Claypool guy, so I think that Mooney has rapport with Justin Fields, more rapport than DJ Moore, and there's just at wide receiver 57. Why not? Why not take him over Gallup and Jacoby Myers, and Zay Jones? I mean, I just don't see a bunch of upside with them guys.
So that's the one thing I was going to say. Zay Jones is one of the people I got most. I would say the guys that I'm getting most are Zay Jones, Romeo Dobbs, and motherfucking Isaiah Hodgins way down there. I'm getting tons of Isaiah Hodgins. He's my most drafted player. I mean, at the top of the list is literally Isaiah Hodgins, And then I got old John Mechie a lot too, man. A little John
There you
Mechie
go.
action going on.
No
But yeah,
Nico.
no Nick, I'm not buying into none of them. I'm barely buying into Mechie.
What
All the reason
about
I go for it.
like Rashid Shaheed down there at 74?
Man, he's like the guy. Hey, with that last pick, I'd go for it. You know,
Yeah.
where's he going in the draft?
He's
Probably.
going right there by Mechie and Hodgins.
Yeah. So all them guys like some of these. What about like Marvin Mims ahead of him? I feel like he's just a little shot in the dark. Haven't drafted him not
Yeah.
one time, but I see him right there. You know, you never know. Just these little shots in the dark. All right, let me throw a couple. Let me throw a tight end though out there for you though. My man Evan Ingram from the motherfucking. I need to quit saying motherfucking. Ed Evan Ingram. He's going as let's see, tight end
8.
tight end 8. We got Evan Ingram, tight end 8, and the dude finished what like top 3 last year, top 5 at least.
Well, he did have like one 30-point week, so one
Right.
40-point week, so that helped out a lot.
So Evan Ingram, he's going 95.1. Yep. You know, I just want to throw Evan Ingram out there just because I like. You know how it is with these tight ends, man. There's like only 5 or 6 that you really want. I know people are trying to throw Darren Waller back in there again in the mix. There's like 7 that you might want. I just want to throw Evan Ingram up in there. He's tied in for an offense that is making strides. It's probably going to get better this year. I mean, Evan Ingram, he had games where he had motherfucking 10 plus targets. 10 targets. So, I mean, I'm taking Evan Ingram all day. And what's the coach over there? Oh, Fearless. What's that guy's name?
Doug Peterson?
Peterson, man. He likes to get the tight end involved. So, you know, they actually manufacture plays for Evan Ingram, too. Like, they have a purpose to give him the rock. And at tight end, he's a little matchup problem. So, you know, my crew won't like that. Everybody in the crew, they don't like Evan Ingram because old DT and you remember old Isaiah Say, little Say?
Yeah.
They got a little dust up with him in the club one day up at Buckhead or whatever. They hate his ass. But go ahead. But, you know, Evan Ingram, I ain't saying I love Evan Ingram, but, you know, in best ball, as the 8th tight end, I mean, why not?
But Matt, Calvin Ridley's there though. Calvin
Man,
Ridley's going to take all his targets. He's wide receiver 1.
Man, you know what? It's just I just don't even know what to say about that Calvin Ridley shit. We'll just have to address that on a future episode. That's all I know. A lot of Calvin Ridley love out there, which the man ain't played in 2 fucking years. But Evan Ingram is the guy. I like Evan Ingram. In fact, I'm not fading no Jaguars players. I ain't fading Zay Jones. I ain't fading Christian Kirk or Evan Ingram until I see Calvin Ridley do something. And that means play. Got to play a few games.
Yeah, I've been on the Jaguars train too. As far as tight ends go, shit, I'm about to get gross because I've had a couple drafts where I drafted 2 tight ends in round 17 and 18, and I've been hitting on where is he at? Trey McBride at ADP 204. This is a year where the Cardinals are going to see what they got in their young players because they're going to be trash team. There's no reason for them to be throwing Zach Ertz out there playing 90% of snaps. Trey McBride should be the guy for probably a rookie quarterback. I forget his name. Clayton Tune, or even Kyler comes back. I don't mind taking him at tight end 27. And another guy that I like a little later is Irv Smith. Hayden Hurst had a lot of great weeks with the Bengals last year, especially in best ball when Jamar Chase or Higgins, if one of them goes down or the defense is focusing on them. Irv Smith is talented. He's been injured in his past, like last 3 years. He's been injured his whole career.
Yeah.
But in best ball, he's probably a better receiver than Hayden Hurst in general. So I'll take my shot with him. And I like drafting Tyler Higbee over and over and over again because of the target competition. He's going at tight end 16. And that's Phil's boy right there.
Right, loves him. Some old poor man loves Higbee. Ain't no doubt
Yep.
about it. Yep, I'm with you. I had to scroll so far to find old Trey McBride. I was like,
It's down there, man.
kept on going. I was like, sheesh, but I'm with you. I like Trey McBride, and
Michael Mayer,
you know,
too.
yep,
Yep.
Trey McBride was the best receiving tight end coming out of that 22 class. Michael Mayer, he's got a little opportunity. Really, a lot of these rookie tight ends got opportunities this year if they can make it work. Mayer, Laporta, Kincaid, allegedly. I don't know about a Kincaid. A lot of Kincaid hype. In fact, I was sitting here
It
looking
worked
at
out.
Kincaid. He's at tight end 11 right now, but there's man, no joke. This dude was definitely going as tight end 7 like a few weeks ago. Man, this dude was way up there in ADP.
Yeah,
So
he's cooled off, and my probably Phil likes Higbee, my favorite tight end to draft. Pretty much in redraft and everything right now is Njoku. He's just my guy. I think he's just a freak of nature, really. I mean, when you see him out on the field, he's bigger and faster than most people. And Amari Cooper's pretty good, but the target competition in Cleveland isn't too out of hand where I don't think the tight end can get really involved, especially in the red
right.
zone too.
Real quick, I'm gonna throw a few quarterback names out there, and I don't really have to stay too long on these quarterbacks because from what I'm seeing, in the best ball quarterback situation that we got going on, man, I've seen quarterbacks getting drafted in like the mid-second rounds. Have you been seeing that, Craftman? Talking about
Yeah,
mid-second, and
I can
I'm just,
actually.
you
Yeah,
can do it. Could you do that,
I
Craft? I
mean,
can't do it.
I can actually see it happening. Not saying I would do it, but I can see it happening in redraft just based on last year's performances between Mahomes and Allen, and there just seems to be this tier of quarterbacks where in the past there's been some sneaky values that you think you can get. There's just a tier this year where it's like we just got repeat offenders every year, finishing at like the top 5, which is Burrow, Allen, and Mahomes. And everybody loves Hurts now too. So I think it's more just of a safety thing, where it's like I just want the best quarterback. I can win. I can figure out a different way to win this best ball, drafting maybe a sneaky running back or receiver later on, and just get my guy that's going to score, has the potential to put up 40, 50 points in a week, compared to a good week from Kirk Cousins is like 25. But that's great for redraft if you get it every week. But in best ball, you want the massive weeks.
So for me, like I'm passing on those quarterbacks in the second and third. Now I have done some best balls where I've taken quarterbacks early just because I wanted to have some. You know what I'm saying? Just to try to do it. If I was like in with y'all, my favorite pocket to pick these quarterbacks from is that 5th round, 6th round. In the 5th, you can get Justin Herbert, and in the 6th round, you can get Trevor Lawrence. These are two quarterbacks that I both are about to like. Justin Herbert, I think he's kind of being faded just a little bit this year, just a tad, but I think it's all about Kellen Moore's over there. Just after another wide receiver. Hopefully, these, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen can stay a little healthy. I think they're going to air it out because when Kellen Moore was over there in Dallas, they were one of the top passing teams of the league. Justin Herbert, you know, I think he bounces back a little bit this year. And Trevor Lawrence in the 6th round, I'm fine with that too. And I know these guys ain't little rushing, they ain't got the highest rushing upside in the world, but they can get a few hidden yards in there. But in that 5th to 6th round, give that to me all day, man. Give that to me.
Yeah, if I had to pick my perfect draft, the way I like to do best ball, and I've been mixing it up too. I took Josh Allen in the 3rd in this last one we did, and just to mix it up. But I'm with you. I've been trying to hit Fields right in there because in best ball, passing touchdowns is only 4 points per passing touchdown. So I've been a little higher on the rushing quarterbacks, but still fading the hell out of Anthony Richardson at this point.
Right.
I cannot get him.
That's one name that I was sitting here looking at, like, because Dak Prescott is going at the QB 12, and if I was going to skip through that pocket that I like to pick from, Dak Prescott would be another one I would like to grab, along with a couple names I wrote down: Deshaun Watson and Tua. Those are some good names, but Anthony Richards going at QB 11. He's going ahead of, Dak, Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones. I think I would take Dak and Daniel Jones over Anthony Richard big time.
Yeah, I want to point out something too with Anthony Richardson because the hype is just way too far. Anthony Richardson in best ball is getting drafted as the QB 10. Going back to 2021, I want to show y'all who was the QB 9. Jalen Hurts was the QB 9 in 2021. He had 3,144 passing yards. Is Anthony Richardson going to get anywhere close to that?
Fuck no.
Okay. He had 16 passing touchdowns, and he had 784 rushing yards and 10 rushing touchdowns. He was the QB 9 that year. That's a great year. Anthony Richardson is not going nowhere near that. So getting drafted as a QB 10 in anything just seems crazy to me. Just give me Daniel Jones, give me Kirk Cousins or Jared Goff like 4 rounds later in best ball.
Yep.
It's absurd, man. The Anthony Richardson hype.
Fucking sir. There's no doubt about it. I'm good with the ADPs I like. Throw some more names out there for me, Kraft.
Well, I like Tua going as the QB. Let's see where he was at. I think he's
QB 10.
Yeah, QB 10. So Richardson was the QB 11. I was wrong about that one. So Tua he's the QB 10. And one thing I got to say about Tua is Tyreek is going in the first, Jalen Waddle's going in the second. Everywhere you go.
Yep.
The only way they're returning value is if Tua is a great quarterback. So if you're willing to take Tyreek there and Jalen Waddle in the second, then you shouldn't be scared of Tua. And it seems like everywhere you go, Tyreek and Jalen Waddle's way up there, just the same as Jamar Chase and T. Higgins with Burrow. So, if you think both of them receivers are going to have great years, then Tua's going to have to be behind it. So, I can see some massive weeks out of Tua.
Yeah, Tua had some big ass weeks last year. Didn't he have a couple 40, 50-point weeks? You remember that one week when they was going off? So Tua's he's a great value in best ball right now. And this ain't dynasty, so there's no long term commitment. Just take him this year, see how it goes. I'm with you. Tua's a great one. Any more quarterbacks out there?
No, those are that's it for me. I got Cam Akers on here at running back. Just wanted to mention him because you love him so much. Going as RB22.
Yeah. Same. I wanted to throw one out there too. My man James Conner, he's going at 87.4 RB28. RB28. And if he's healthy, he's going to get 97% of the carries or some crazy number. I always say 97 because that's what number I saw one time. So James Conner's, I don't really, me, I don't really buy into the Cam Akers shit, but the opportunity's there, and we just did a buy low episode, and I put Cam Akers on my list. So even I could say there's opportunity for Cam Akers. Just do I believe in the talent? And that's a hell no. I don't believe in that shit. So
one thing I've noticed in this best ball and pretty much best ball, not as much in redraft, is most of the names we mentioned today are on bad teams. Most of the players are on bad teams. And that's the reason their value is where it is, like the Jahan Dotsons, the Khalil Herberts, like I mentioned, McLaurin, Romeo Dobbs, teams that we think, James Conner, the Cardinals. These are just players that get kind of thrown in the dumps because they're on bad teams, but there's still value there. You just got to hit on the value because these teams are going to be playing from behind, going to be throwing a lot. Marquise Brown, players like that, target competition. He should be a great player this year also. So I've been getting him everywhere, but that's just one thing I've noticed, that if you want to get value in these best ball drafts, you got to be willing to draft some players on some bad teams.
Right. Agreed. Well, shit, that about wraps it on up. For the ADPs that we like in best ball, you can find me at Crew Matt Hamm on Twitter. You can find Craftman at Craftman Pack Fan. Check us out, man. Give us a follow. If you ain't on Twitter and you don't like that shit, just make you an account. Go follow me, Craftman, and the Cruise Podcast, and then just leave it at that. And then you can see everything we post. you ain't even got to look at them Twitter streets. So, anything you want to say to the people, Craft Man?
Yeah, just follow, like you said, follow us on Twitter, and check out our posts. We try to put in a little bit of work on there, and sometimes get into it with some other folks, but all love though. Never really talking shit. We just like to spread our opinions and try to go against the grain every now and again.
Right. Hey, all love for me and you on Twitter, man. All love. Some people on there, they get a little serious, a little too serious for me. Like, I ain't about to be typing in analytics, reply, and be like, this guy had 36.7% of the target share. I'll be like, I ain't doing all that. So you can get at me, but if I see a bunch of numbers, I might not go back at you.
Yeah. We just like to watch football and use our eyes, and there is a lot of analytics that I am an analytics guy. I like to look at that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of good content creators out there that do real well trying to help us figure out all this fantasy stuff. So, but I still just love to be opinionated and watch football on the TV and form my own opinions on that. So,
right. It's the eye test, people, the eye test. But thanks for listening to the pod. Give us that 5-star review. And thanks for listening. But we out.
Peace.